All right, welcome to Huddle Up, episode number 3. And with us today is wide receiver Scott Duke, played back in, what the heck was it, Scott? 1987, 85,
83 to 86.
83 to
Yeah, a long
86.
time ago.
Yep, Scott, 3-year Letterman, team captain in the senior year. Scott, welcome.
Thank you. I'm honored to have the opportunity here with you guys, and I'm really looking forward to this
With me,
interview.
as always, Rob Clock. He's gonna give that quarterback insight to everything that me and
My
offensive
man,
linemen
Rob.
really cannot deliver. So,
Brandon, good to see you. And of course, it's great to see Scotty. I got a chance to play with Scotty. I was a little bit younger, but I always looked up to him, and I'm going to really enjoy this tonight.
Yeah.
awesome, great.
Yeah.
Hey, so just to our viewing audience, we appreciate the feedback. We're getting some great feedback from people, so feel free to shoot Rob or I an email, and I'll put those emails up on the screen for you. We'd love to hear from you, but also we're going to ask you to start thinking about subscribing to our YouTube channel where you're going to find this video. Follow us on Facebook. We're trying to build that network of alumni, and we are getting there. We've got almost 730 guys in our mailing list, and we're regularly engaging about 420 of them. But we got 300 out there that we want to get our hands on. So everybody out there, spread the word, and let's grow this thing. Go ahead, Rob. Take it away, man.
Alrighty. So, Scotty, great to see you as always. We had to
Great to see you, Rob.
last week. Good to catch up. Hey, first question. What got you to Ship? How did you find out about Shippensburg University and, playing ball there? How did it all play out?
Well, it's kind of a interesting story, I think. So I played high school ball, obviously, and I was the youngest of three. I had three older brothers, and we lived on a farm. So my oldest two brothers weren't allowed to play sports; they had to work on the farm. Next brother, he got the opportunity to play in high school, and I kind of adopted that. I was allowed to play through like youth. I didn't play youth football. I didn't start playing football until I was in seventh grade. But so fortunately, I got the opportunity. Thought I did pretty well in high school, but didn't really think much about college, honestly. No one in my immediate family went to college. Like I said, my parents were farmers, and my brothers went to work in manufacturing. And that's what I was going to do going into my senior year. That's what I was going to do. And so I didn't really think much about college. So my senior year, my high school coach, my father drove our school bus to the team events. That was his part-time gig. And my coach said to him one time, Coach Bob Wilderson, loved the guy to death. He said, "Hey, I think your son could play in college." And my dad's like, we can't afford college. Right. And he's like, "I think I might be able to get him some aid." And then it kind of started the ball rolling back, sending out film and the old, an 8 millimeter, there's little
Right.
reels and all that kind of stuff before recruiting is nothing like it is now. But anyhow, he gave me the opportunity. He got me connected with Coach Manos. And I had a few other opportunities locally, Millersville. Lehigh looked at me a little, but until they saw my grades, I was chucked out of there. But anyhow, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But anyhow, locally, Westchester. And so I went to visit Ship, fell in love with the campus, fell in love with Coach Ragazzo, Vito, and Coach Manos. They were very helpful. So by the spring of my senior year, I decided, you know what, I can do this. My grades are fine. I was good to go, and so yeah, here we are. So I come in my fall, and I was a tight end in high school. Thought I was pretty decent, but whatever. And I get there, and like Dave Peck and Bobby Hughes, like these guys are 6'5", and I'm 6 foot. I'm like, and 200. I'm like, oh, this isn't good. So I got dropped off of camp, did my thing my first year, and played. Then we called it JV, I guess, pretty much. We played like the Fumas and the Gettysburg, like JV team stuff like a freshman year. It was kind of prior to all the like the red shirt stuff that goes on now. You just kind of this way you went, but it was a great experience. So yeah, that's how I got the Ship. I just kind of walked on, didn't know what I was getting into, didn't know anyone. If it wouldn't have been for my high school coach giving me that opportunity, and then Coach Manos, and who knows where I'd be now, honestly.
And Scotty, that was Hempfield High School, correct?
That was Hempfield High School, yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I graduated in '83, and yeah, it was great. It was. I'm glad I did it. Back at my school, I might have been the only one that went on to college to play football.
Wow.
Right? It's compared to now, it's like not even close. But yeah, so it was a big honor. I think people like looked up to that back in the day, like, oh wow, you're actually going, you're going to play football in college, and I'm like, yeah, I am.
Well, it's I can remember being a freshman and throwing the ball to you and just impressed with your skills and how you ran routes. And by then you already played wide receiver.
Yeah,
But I'm just curious, who were the quarterbacks that you played for? I think Dan Carey and Billy Roth would be the two main ones, correct?
Dan Carey, Billy Roth, Greg Woods was there, I believe, my freshman year. I'm
Okay,
not
I
sure
remember
if
that
he
name.
played again his sophomore year, but yeah, Dan Carey and Billy Roth were the guys.
Well, Scott, you told me a story. And first of all, I want to say shout out Coach Monis. It's his birthday this week. So,
Oh, happy
Yeah,
birthday,
yeah,
Coach.
Coach Mo,
yeah. I
happy
gave him a
birthday.
little shout out on the.
Scott, you told me a story about how really one of the highlights of your career was your senior year when you were selected team captain by your teammates, by your peers. Can you talk about that, but also maybe some of the moments that really kind of stand out in your head over that time while you were at Ship playing ball?
Well, I was I consider myself kind of like an average player. I was no highlight reel guy. Back then, we didn't really throw the ball a whole lot. I think my senior year, I might have had 21 catches, but then I did get hurt my sixth game. But we'll talk about that later. But anyhow, that was probably I had a really good year going. But I was no standout at all. I thought I was above average player, but I ran really good routes, and I had really good hands
Yeah.
prior to people wearing gloves. And I know in high school, like I dropped one pass, and college, I think I dropped two in play. So I'm really proud of that. And even my fellow colleagues, when they see me, they're like, "Hey, hands," because I came there was Jeff Zubia, like he caught everything, you know what I mean? And
Oh, yeah.
like I want to be like that guy. And so yeah, so I guess I got a little traction maybe going into my senior year. Was really looking forward to it, and then at the end of camp, they had a big like a captain's meeting, and the team voted for it, if I recall. And I'm sure the coaches had a little to do with it. But um, Bob Wilderson, my high school coach, came up along with my dad and my one brother, and we had it in, I think it was, what's that, Reiner Hall, whatever, one of the dining halls. And when I didn't think I had any shot, honestly. There's much better players in the team than I was. But I won. And, it brought tears, but like I'll never forget that day when that happened, and my dad and my coach being there. And it was just a really, really cool experience. And it made me feel like I might not be the best athlete on the team, but I think I got respect of fellow players, and some looked up to me, I think. And I guess I was one of the best role model in the world, but I guess I was a role model in the world, right? You know what I mean? But I'm like, that's when like it hit me that, all right, I guess I am pretty good. Like I am respected on this team. And that was probably the coolest highlight of my college career.
Yep.
You know,
And Scotty is one of those younger guys on that team. I will tell you, you were respected. You were well liked too. Like people respected you, but in a good way. There was no fear involved. It was we liked you. We liked hanging out with you. I always liked throwing the ball to you because you knew you were going to fight. You were going to try to get that football.
yeah.
So one memory pops into my mind with your crew. Again, I was a little bit younger, but when you guys put together that poster, do you remember this?
Yeah,
With the
I do remember that.
sunglasses and oh man, that was classic. That was classic. Is there a story behind that?
I forget. Somebody
And again, we didn't throw the
actually,
ball
Dean
that much.
Steyer, I think, posted that on like Facebook here, probably within the last like year. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like somebody still has that picture. So we need to get that back. But
We'll get that on
at
the
that
site,
time we were in
Frank.
front of a helicopter. Very cool picture. All the receivers and the quarterbacks, I believe, right?
I think
guessing
Frankie
that.
D was there too, because Frankie D probably got us the helicopter.
Frankie V. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah, I
he
didn't dress for it. It was just the older quarterbacks. I think it was just Billy and Dan, or maybe it was just Billy that year.
it may have been, yeah. I when we took that picture, my leg was in a cast, so I kind of hid that a little bit, but I still kind of look cool, right?
Yeah, no, you guys all look cool. It was
You gotta
great.
give me that. You gotta give me that picture. I want that picture, man.
Yeah,
We'll find it.
we'll have to get that. I know Frankie was probably involved in kind of setting that whole thing up. He was
Yeah.
that guy, and I tell you, man, he was one of my favorite players to play with. I don't want to go off the rails here, but what a great dude, and his halfback pass got me many touchdowns. So it was perfect. It was kind of the silliest play in the world, but I'd line up at like wingback, pretend I chipped the guy, and kind of stumbled a little bit, and then went out in the flat in the end zone, and you're wide open every time. It was crazy. And Frankie threw me the ball. So, anyway.
Well, again, you had a great football career. You got to experience college, like you said. It wasn't a guaranteed thing early on, and now look at you. You're a successful person in life. Two wonderful children. Your daughters are both athletes. One's in college. One's on her way. What do you think? Did football contribute to that who you are today? Did it contribute to that?
Oh, absolutely. I think with the camaraderie and the competitiveness, and you're never satisfied, right? Like you just always feel like you could do better. And, I think that was from the coaching, early on. Like they taught you, like it was like mean streets, right? It was not like, it was, they were in your face, right? Back in our day, and especially high school and then college, like they didn't put up with anything. So it made you learn like the tough lessons, like, oh yeah, I think I'm pretty good. Well, guess what? You're 13. Like what? Like, wait, I was just like all league last year in high school. Oh, great. You don't dress for this game. I'm like, oh, wonderful. What am I doing here? You know what I mean? But it's just things like that, those obstacles you have to overcome. And I think it was I coaching's everything to me. I mean, coaching makes so many good people.
I think a lot of it is the result of people that affected our lives growing up, and a lot of them are football coaches, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And, we hope that we have that positive influence on somebody younger. And, I tend to think we do. And that, I think, is, something that Ship has instilled in a lot of us and a lot of the coaches that we had the chance to play for. I think did some real good things.
It really is.
But yeah, Rob, the commitment, right? Like, people are going out. Like, and I got practice. Like, you're traveling on Friday nights. Sundays you're watching some film. It's your recovery day. Like, it's a commitment, and I think we're losing some of that.
I agree.
The younger generation, like they just don't. I mean, I had some kids. They just don't want to be there. Like it's too much time for them.
I'm going to go back to something you said earlier, which really kind of shocked me. You said Sunday was a recovery day when you played.
It was.
I remember running gassers on Sundays on occasion if we did not have a very good performance on a Saturday.
And my question on that comment, Scotty, was: are you recovering from the game, or are you recovering from Saturday night when you were out at the fraternity houses?
Wait, we don't need to go into details. Okay, I'm no angel. Okay.
And that transitions well into my next point. You're no angel because I've hung out with you now at a few RR4L events. And I want to ask you about that. You're involved with RR4L. It's funny, I know you played with Rob, but I met you just a year and a half ago, for the first time. And I think it really is. It's interesting how what we're doing here with RR4L has that effect. I've gotten to know you and had a great time hanging out with you at some of our events. Can you talk about, what we're doing as a group, RR4L? You're very involved in our committee and what we do, and maybe how that's having an impact on bringing guys together and what you're seeing, from that perspective.
I think it's one of the coolest things, one of the coolest organizations I belong to. It's not just us getting together and having a beer and a cigar. It's networking, and we can help a younger kid or anyone. It could be an older person or whatever who maybe needs a job, or we can assist with that or point them in the right direction. And, if we can get in with these, like the graduates who get out of ship, there's plenty of people that in that committee that have many connections, and maybe steer them in the right direction. And that's where, like me personally, that's where I get my satisfaction.
I think something interesting about our organization is like you can be more, we're involved because we're on the committee, but people are at different stages of their life. So like if somebody's younger, maybe their kids are kind of young, they're still real active. Like there were years I didn't make it back to homecoming for, oh my gosh, I bet you I missed like a decade of homecoming because my kids were so young and I was coaching high school ball. We were always busy on Saturdays. So
Yeah.
everybody's at a different stage in life. But if everybody knows that we're here, so when you do find the time and your stage in life, it fits, we want them to come and join us because we do have a lot of fun. Say what you want to say, but we do have a lot of fun. And
Absolutely.
we're trying to help the kids too. I mean, we know we have a goal in mind, but we have a good time getting there too.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's funny because Rob and I have known each other a long time. We've interacted off and on throughout the years. But really, in the last 2 years, I mean, I've really gotten reconnected with Rob, and now I've met all the guys Rob played with. All his teammates. So
Yeah.
now when I go up the ship, it doesn't matter if any of my friends are there or not, because I'm going to run into somebody who's
Yeah.
in our group, and it's been a lot of fun. I know everybody says like, "Oh, Frank, you're doing a great job," and I'm like, "This is a blast. I'm having a great time doing this." Good. Hey, all right, man. We're going to wrap it up, Scotty. Really appreciate it. That's a great conversation, man. Rob, good job as always. We are going to be off for the next 2 weeks due to the holiday. Just going to tell the world. And when we come back on January 10th, we're going to have Steve Garanda come in here, and he's going to talk about his days. And he was quite a player when he played ball here at Shippensburg. So
linebacker and all-conference punter.
Yeah, he was all-conference punter.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah. So you guys have a great holiday. Thanks again for your time. Everybody out there have a good holiday. We'll see you on January 10th for the next episode.
Happy holiday, good Raiders.
Yeah, happy holidays to everyone, and have a safe and healthy holiday.
Good luck!